In business, you have to make sure that you don't have any emotional attachment to your business. Whenever the business doesn't work anymore, or you see that the business cannot provide for you as much as it can, you have to move on.
In today's episode of the podcast, we have a 24-year-old multi-millionaire. In the last 4 years, he has been able to transform himself from a broke student with his graphic design hustle to a marketing and sales expert, grossing in hundreds of millions of naira every year. His name is Praise Akinlami. In this episode, we talk about how he got started.
So she happened to have one of her brothers who was doing graphic design then. So she made me go to his house and stay for a few weeks, of which I was there. I learned the basics of everything about, graphic design, running a graphic design business in Nigeria and in Abuja, basically.
How he transitioned from graphic design to marketing.
I've been doing this graphic design business for about 2 years now. I told him that I'm doing marketing and sales and I'm making a lot of money. Then that period, I was making like 100K per day.
What CPA marketing is and how you can earn in dollars doing it.
If you know Sabinus, if you know Mr. Macaroni, you always see them talking about companies like OctaFX, 1xBet. All you see there is CPA marketing.
How just anyone can start from the scratch and make millions using the internet. And lots more. Of course, as always, it's the Entrepreneurs Connect show. That means there's a lot to learn. So what you need to do right now is to sit back, relax, grab your notepad and your pen, and let's get learning. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Now let's get right into the show. Hello there and welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurs Connect Show. As always, the Entrepreneurs Connect Show is a place where we interview African entrepreneurs to learn about their journey, their story, their successes, failures, and everything in between. Okay, and today is not going to be anything short of exciting because we have an amazing guest in the house. 8-figure internet marketer, founder of the CPA Dollar Academy. His name is Praise Akinlami. Hello, Praise. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me.
So good to have you here. so good to have you here.
Yeah.
Now, when we pre-planned the podcast, I'm like, make sure we film this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you honored my invitation. And
I'm so happy to be here. It's been an honor so far. Like the quality of guests you've had here, like for me, it's just one added to my portfolio. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you very much, my man.
Yeah.
All right, so just to dive right into it, the show is not a lecture or a test, basically. We're basically having a conversation, okay? And I want you to tell me about your journey, tell me about the lessons you've learned, and all that. We're just going to be gisting, basically. So let's get right into it. And how we usually start is by you telling us your story. How did you start this thing called business?
Okay, so for me, right, the reason why I started business, or let me just say, one way I stumbled on business was the fact that when I finished school, all right, because I was very good in school, I wanted to always study either medicine or engineering because I was told I was supposed to study if you were bright in school, secondary school and all that.
Yeah.
So I didn't get admission that particular year, and it was simply because I didn't see a particular email. As I normally tell people that your email is like one of your treasures right now. So the school emailed me and told me that I should come back and write a different exam because I passed their post-UTME, that's the entrance exam into the university. So I didn't see the email, basically. So I had to stay at home based on the fact that I didn't see the email to go and write the exam and change my course. So after that period, while staying at home, my aunt, who I was living with, because I lost my mom when I was very young, so I lived most of my life with my relatives and all that. My dad was very busy, and you know how it can be sometimes.
Yeah.
So I decided that I was going to stay with my aunt, or I was staying with my aunt, and she was like, "Why don't you go and learn something?" So in Yoruba, they used to call it like elokoshe, which means that you should go and learn handwork. That's just something you can use to just make money with your hand. So my aunt is a believer of skills. She believes that, apart from the government job, you can have skills, but she doesn't necessarily know about online skills and all that. So she happened to have one of her brothers who was doing graphic design then. So she made me go to his house and stay for a few weeks, of which I was there. I learned the basics of everything about, graphic design, running a graphic design business in Nigeria and in Abuja, basically. And that was basically how I started. When I went into school, I didn't want to stay there because I wanted to when I went there, he was still hustling and all those kind of things. I was not very comfortable there as opposed to my auntie's house, so I was lazy, to be honest. I wouldn't take credit from him. He was pushing me, but I was very lazy, so I left his place. But before leaving, I had already gotten the knowledge about what it means to run a graphic design business without a degree or any of all those other things. Just offering my services to people as a graphic designer back then. And after I did that, I left his house after like 3 weeks because I was losing weight. Because him is a hustler. I know what it means to live with somebody who is hustling. So I left his house. I went back to my auntie's house. When I went back into school, I bought a laptop. I think my brother bought that laptop for me. So I bought a laptop because I wanted to play games. I'm very good at playing FIFA. You know very well now.
I have lessons.
So I'm very good at playing FIFA. So I've always been playing PES.
But fear my return, Shao.
No, Allah.
Fear my return. By the next time you're in this city, fear my return.
So I'm very good at playing games. So I bought it because I wanted to play games. So it was a very powerful laptop. So apparently that laptop could also do a lot of design work.
Yeah, it had a good graphics card.
So when I got to school, I started designing for churches. I started designing for my faculty, for different faculties in my school.
What did you study in school, by the way?
I studied civil engineering.
Interesting, because I studied civil engineering too.
Oh, that's amazing.
But coincidentally, you're not practicing civil engineering.
No, well, I have a philosophy around that, especially professional courses. Some things just take time. Yeah. To be honest, like, you don't expect to study medicine and start doing groundbreaking surgeries that can pay you millions and millions of dollars in your first year or your second year. There are some things in life that are directly proportional to the amount of time you put in it and the amount of time you spend in that particular field. So I understand that me studying engineering doesn't mean that I won't do engineering in the future, or that doesn't mean I won't make money from engineering in the future. I feel engineering is going to come, its time is going to come, but maybe as with the experience I'm going to get as I'm going in business, I might not necessarily do the building and all that, but there are other sectors of engineering. I can start a business around engineering. I can do import, I can do export. So most people normally think that, okay, if you study engineering, you must build house, or you must know. They're like, there's always the art of things or the science of things, and there's always the business of it. So like that's basically how I stumbled on making money online, and I got to find some things online, some materials. I was following the likes of Chris Do, I was following the likes of Tola Alabi. I always like to.
I mean, if you have a graphic design background, I don't know Chris Do
or Tola
in Nigeria. I don't know that. You haven't started.
That was how I began. When I heard that this guy was like earning like 600k per logo or 300k per logo, I was like, interesting. I can do that as well. So that's basically how I discovered that it was possible that people could make money online. That's how I discovered business in general, just by designing flyers for people in my faculty and collecting money.
So the first online business you did was graphic design?
That's correct.
Can you remember how much exactly you made from your first gig?
Okay, so my first gig exactly was free. Because I don't know, if you say first gig was probably me trying to impress people who are around me to get me on the job and all that. But the first job I had was deep in COVID. I think I was hired that particular time as a graphic designer. The guy sent me, I got that job on Twitter. That's why I normally tell people that there's so much opportunities on the internet. You just need to be known. Just need to put yourself out there and let as many people as possible know that this is what you do. So I got that job on Twitter. I posted my works and all that, and the guy told me that I should come and meet him. He was living close to me in Abuja back then, and I went to his office. Told me I was hired. I think he put me on a salary of like 26,775 naira. I can never forget that exact figure. 26,000. So he did it that way so that it looks very official and all that. And only for me to find out that the second designer in the company was being paid around 99,000. You understand? So that was what I gave him was my worth. You understand? He told me how much was I gonna charge per month. I think I told him like about 30k. And I said no, we were gonna offer you 26,775. That's what I started with. So that was like the first job I ever got. I worked with him for some months before I left his company and all that.
So 26,775.
Yeah, 26,775. It's a magic number.
So after graphic designing, what next happened?
Okay, so after I finished graphic design, I got into marketing. So basically, before I went deep into graphic design, I wanted to really start my own company around graphic design. I had my website then, I had my Facebook page. If you can go and search on Facebook, Lavito Designs is a page. You see some of the designs I did before I stopped. But I just got to understand that there's so much money you can make in the internet or on the internet, but there are some jobs you do on the internet that can never really make you a lot of money, that can never make you rich, depending on how long you want to stay and how fast you want to make the money. So some businesses can make you money faster than some other businesses, right? So I got a basic understanding of that. I remember when I was talking to Ronald Zumora, one of the guys I look up to on the internet, and I went to his office. I told him that I've been doing this graphic design business for about 2 years now, and I love my business.
Yeah.
I don't want to end it. I don't want to quit it. And I told him that, but now I'm seeing that marketing and sales, because what I do now is marketing and sales, generally information marketing, affiliate, any kind of marketing basically. But I like to position as a CPA marketer because that's what I do majorly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I told him that I'm doing marketing and sales and I'm making a lot of money. Then that period I was making like 100K per day from my marketing and sales business. And my graphic design business was really making me around 150 to 200K per day max.
Per month.
Per month rather, max. And I could not just stop it because I had this emotional attachment to it. I've built this thing for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've built this thing with intention that, okay, I want to be the best. I want to be renowned for this thing. So he told me that, see, in business, you have to, you'd have to make sure that you don't have any emotional attachment to your business. Whenever the business doesn't work anymore, or you see that the business cannot provide for you as much as it can, you have to move on. And coming to think about it, I was like, okay, if I'm going to be designing logos for even 50K per logo, which a lot of designers don't even do now AI just does the job. Remember when I talked about it back in 2021, like they dragged me on Twitter, like, say, why would I make jest of people's livelihood? It's because I saw the future. I knew AI was going to come, you know, and I knew it was going to come fast. So I was thinking, I said, okay, how many logos do I have to design to help me book a flight that is around 5 million naira, for instance?
Yeah.
So which means I have to work with like 1,000 clients. I don't know if my math is correct, maybe 1,100 clients. Do you know the headache you have to face to work with 1,000 clients or just 100 clients? It's a lot. So I thought about it and I know I can't, like, from his own perspective, from my own perspective, it was the only reason why I was staying in that business was because I've built it for a long while and I didn't want to leave it. But from his own perspective, he was like, man, this business can literally not feed you. This business can literally not take you to where you want to be. I understand that not everybody wants to be rich, but if you want to be rich, there are some, I see businesses as vehicles. This is you, and this is where you want to go. Your business is going to take you from point A to point B. And if that business does not have enough fuel, let's assume that the amount of money that the business can make is fuel.
Yeah.
It doesn't have enough fuel to take you from where you want to, where you are, to where you want to be. You need to abandon that vehicle and get into another vehicle. So that's exactly what I did when I moved from being a graphic designer or just a graphic designer to somebody that was into marketing and sales right now. Because with marketing and sales, I can do so much more. I can touch many industries as opposed to just being a graphic designer. So that was my major reason for leaving design. You know, I remember when they were dragging me back then in Twitter, they were like, oh, I left design because I was not successful. Yes, I agree. If you say I wasn't successful, I don't know what success is to you. But success is different for everybody else. Even as I'm doing sales and marketing today, if I find a better vehicle than what I'm doing right now, I'm going to move. Because I have no emotional attachment to my businesses. I might not actually quit the business and make the customers suffer. But me as an individual, I'm a separate entity from my business.
Yeah.
I can move and try something else and have somebody in charge of that current business. Because trust me, the business you're playing in or the industry you're playing in is directly proportional to how much you're going to make.
True. You know, as I grew up, I found out that it's not really about how hard you work. You know, there's a full pride in hard work. Hard work is very important. Hard work is essential. But what are you working hard on?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So in 2021, I'm coming back from work. No, I was going to work that day. And just by the street, I see some guy with a digger. They're trying to do a drainage. And this guy is digging and sweating. And I looked at it. And I said, damn, this guy is working hard. But he's not going to get paid up to 100K for doing this. And he's working hard. So in as much as hard work is good, it's not about hard work, it's about what you're working hard on, the vehicle. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like for instance, like if you have a guy who is working as a bricklayer, okay, this guy works, like because I won't say I've done a bricklayer's job before, but I think when I was living in Nasarawa State, okay, there was this house that we were constructing beside us, and then I needed money for that subscription. And then when 10 MB was a lot back then, so it's not now that you need gig and all that.
You use Java phones.
Yeah, just
10
100
MB
naira for 10 MB, that kind of thing. 10 MB was a lot, so I really needed to do that subscription. I wanted to download one game from Cepharo.
Yeah. Oh God.
So I now told the guys that I'm going to have to work for like that I'm going to do half day. So they were doing casting then. Okay, if you're an engineer now, you know what casting is. You put stones and all that. To mix the cement. So doing casting then, I went there. I worked for like half day. In fact, I could not carry that full bucket. I was carrying like half bucket. and the guy like gave me 200, and I went to go and do the sub, but I did not have enough energy to even download the game. Like, that's hard work.
Yeah.
Because so there's how work can get so hard that you cannot even enjoy the profit. There's how work gets so hard that the profit looks so small as compared to the work. You know, I like to tell people that I like to do the least amount of work that gets me the highest form of result. Because that's what it's called leverage. Right? That's what it's called leverage. So that's how I like to work. So if I can set up a marketing campaign now, maybe I take 2 to 3 hours, I set it up, and it runs for like 4 months. That's good leverage, if you ask me. But I couldn't do that for design because probably maybe I'll have to like get one client, that client to help me get another client, that client to do revisions, do all this stuff. So it's too much headache. So later, when I started thinking about it, it seems like one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because right now I've made multi-million like dollars in sales, and you know, like hundreds of millions of naira. You know, in profit. So it's just been an amazing journey for me so far, to be honest.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So let's talk about what you do specifically right now. Let's talk about the CPA marketing and all of that. So first of all, do you want to demystify what CPA marketing means? And then how did you get into it?
Okay, so basically CPA marketing is just simply a form of affiliate marketing.
Okay.
All right. So you know how, imagine you as an individual, you're my friend, and GT Bank opens a bank, and sorry, they open a branch. Yeah, GT Bank opens a branch and they need customers, obviously. So if they open a branch and need customers, and you, all right, and I can go and meet GT Bank now and tell them that, okay, I know people who might need your services. All right, I want to strike a deal with you that once people go ahead and use your services through me, I'm gonna get paid. Then we strike a deal, me and GT Bank, okay? Then I go to you and tell you, Joseph, because I know you're a business owner and you need probably a really reliable bank, probably be the one that has point and sales services and all those kind of things. And you go to GT Bank and I tell you, okay, use GT Bank services. So I'll probably maybe make you use the services through my, tracking link or whatever. You know, they have to like find a way to track it down, basically, to make sure that the customer is from me. So you now go to GT Bank and use GT Bank services, and you might not even know, and GT Bank goes to pay me. So it most likely, you understand it better when I use examples like people like Sabinus. Right? If you know Sabinus, if you know Mr. Macaroni, you always see them talking about companies like OctaFX, 1xBet. All you see there is CPA marketing, because they have deals with all these companies and they come to you as the individual to tell you that you should use 1xBet, you should use OctaFX, that they have the best services. All right, and you go ahead to use OctaFX, use 1xBet, and they will remember, they always tell you to use their referral link or their promo code or their tracking link or the link in their bio or whatever. Now they tell you to do that so that those companies can know that those customers came from the likes of Sabinus, Macaroni, and the rest. Right? So when you go ahead and use their services, what you don't know as an ordinary consumer or just as a normal person consuming their content that you see on the internet is that those companies, OctaFX, 1xBet, and the rest, they pay Sabinus, they pay all these musicians, they pay all these comedians, all these guys, they pay them a lot. And that's how most of all these musicians and comedians fund their lifestyle, not necessarily comedy. I normally tell people that if it was comedy that funds these people's lifestyle, just anybody can go online and start making jest of themselves. People are going to laugh and they're going to get paid, but it's not like that.
Yeah, I mean, but you agree with me also that comedy also funds their lifestyle in a way. I mean,
but it's not like it's just a fraction, to be honest. Like if you
add revenue from platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and all of that, basically.
That's correct. That's correct. I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that. Yeah. But largely, if you find anybody who has really gone very far in comedy and all these kind of things, they will agree with you that 90% of their revenue is not made from AdSense. What really makes them a lot of money are the promotions, the gigs they get,
brand deals.
Yeah, the brand deals they get, and which is the CPA marketing we're talking about. CPA marketing might not even be. In fact, the full meaning of CPA is cost per action. If you're getting anybody to take action because of who you are or because of watching your video, that is CPA. So it doesn't even have to be affiliate marketing. If I come and meet you now and tell you that, okay, Joseph, I need people to come to attend my event. For every person that attends my event through you, I'm going to give you let's say 2,000 naira, for instance. All right. So that is CPA happening because whenever they come, they've taken an action, which means they attended the event. Then you get paid. So it doesn't. People need to like think about it from a standpoint that okay, this is just an everyday thing that's been happening in our lives. It's not something that is so special like that. No. But the truth is that most people, you're going to make a lot of money when you do the simple things in the biggest way. That's how you make money. Dangote sells ordinary cement, but he does it in a very big way. So making money is not very far-fetched as people think it is. All right? You make money by doing the simplest things, but in a massive way. And that's where distribution, leverage, and the rest comes in. So that's the basic definition of how CPA is. And how did I find out about CPA? So basically, while I was doing design and all that, I met a guy online who was already into affiliate marketing that period. So I messaged him. I told him that I wanted to learn from him and all that. So he told me to buy some books. You know how it goes already now. They tell you buy courses and all that, of which I was not very happy with, just like every other normal person.
What's your opinion right now, though, on buying courses?
Well,
now, I'm saying in hindsight, I mean, you've been through all of that and you're here now. Would you agree that buying courses helped you come a very long way?
Okay, the way I'm going to see it is when you buy a course, okay, you're just buying knowledge, basically. Okay, you're buying shortcuts. You're buying steps, you're buying processes that other people are buying experience. That other people have gone to. So if you come to me and tell me, okay, Praise, how can I make $10,000 online? I can give you a step-by-step process. Because of my 5 years experience in business. And that step-by-step process, you can just implement it in 3 months and make $10,000 online. All right? So that is a big shortcut for you. It's just like maybe you want to learn how to ride a bike. You can take that bike and start trying on your own. You probably maybe fall a few times. You still learn it. It's inevitable. You still learn it. If you practice well, you still learn it. But probably when you're coming out of that particular period, when you have learned how to ride a bike, if you check your body, you see scars, you see injuries, because you've gone through a rigorous process. But if you just have one person, let's say you're a small kid, and you just have one person hold the handles of the bike with you, and only lets go when he's confident enough that you can now ride on your own, you're going to fall less, you're going to injure less, and you have less scars. So that's the role of courses in the entrepreneurship space. Because there's some mistakes you're going to make as an entrepreneur starting on your own that you don't necessarily have to make. It's not necessary. You don't have to pass through all those processes if you just had somebody to tell you that this is what you're supposed to do and this is how you're supposed to do it. So if you're going to ask me that should you get courses, I'm going to tell you that yes, you should get courses, but it's not all courses that are going to be exactly what you expect. So you should get courses with an open mind. That okay, it can go bad, it can go just like every other product. There are good products and there are bad products. And because a product does not work for you, doesn't make it a bad product. It's probably be a product that you don't need.
Or a product or a course, for example, that you don't have enough skill sets yet to implement. Now,
I've read a book before. On, I think the book was How to Get Rich. I read it about 2 years ago. And then I did not have any company registered, nothing. And they were always talking about taxes.
So it's not going to make sense to you.
It didn't make any sense.
That time. And that is why I think the difference between, let's say, two people take a training and all of that, and then one person just blows up and succeeds, and the other person is just there. Now, for the most part, right, one of the problems may just be a skill gap. Because to successfully implement and go forward or anything, you need a level of skill and understanding. For example, if you cannot count from 1 to 10, it'll be difficult to understand 2 plus 2 is equals 4. If you don't know ABCD to Z, you don't know vowel sounds, consonants and all that, it'll be difficult to understand why QUEE is Q, not Qui. Right? So you need a level of skill set, understanding and all that to implement anything you learn. So for some people that don't have that skill set yet, doesn't mean that they cannot learn and implement. No, they can. It's just take them a longer time than to take a regular person. And then what happens then is that they start saying, this thing is a scam, I'm doing it's not working for me, or something like that. I don't know what this person is using, this person is shortcut, yada. Sometimes you just need to add time to the equation and understand what you're doing, basically.
Yeah, like everything is with respect to time. Okay, so but the more tools you have and the more access to the information you have reduces the amount of time you spend on anything you're doing. So for instance, if I want to cut down a tree with a razor blade, it might take me years. right? But if I have a
Donkey,
machine,
yes.
it can take me seconds. You understand? You know, I was supposed to say an axe. But I don't know.
Donkey, yes, bro.
Yeah, so imagine you're going to cut down a tree with a razor blade.
How
Like-
does this?
So, but if you have a tractor, which is probably maybe the information you need, the knowledge you need, or maybe the course or the coach you need or whatever, it's going to take you a few seconds
Yeah, man, like
to bring it
Is
down.
it like an excavator or a tractor?
To be honest, I get you get the point. so that's how it is. So when I met that my guy that was online, I told him that I needed to learn that business because he was making. Then I think he was just making $1,000. He told me that he was going to teach me how to make $1,000. Then he was making around $250 per month that period. And I said, okay, let me buy in his dream, because there's something you just have to do in this life that you just have to believe the dream. You don't necessarily have to know what it is. To be honest, you don't need full information always. Some things you just have to go in there with your guts, with your instincts. It's not everything that you have to think about too much. All right. So this you just have to do. Just try it out and see what comes out of it. Be willing to lose. You know, one of the problems that a lot of people face is they overthink too much things. You think, and before you know, now 2 years, 3 years, 4 years is gone. What time did you say you're going to like start a particular business? What time did you say you're going to especially gym? I think gym is a perfect example.
Yeah. 2024,
I'm gonna go to the gym. This year I'm gonna, like, we're almost at the end of 2024. But people will come out. You've not gone to the gym yet. Like, you've not gone to the gym twice, you've not gone to the gym 3 times. All right? So it's just about you making that decision. So I told him that, okay, I was going to follow through and all that. So I took a step forward. Okay. Since I was going to leave my graphic design business, I told him that, okay, I'm going to service him for free. And in return, he was going to mentor me, which means that, you know, this was not just coaching now, it's not just courses anymore. He was going to tell me exactly what I needed to do for me to have results and make a lot of money online.
So like a combination of coaching and mentorship.
Yeah, so he agreed. So back then, whenever he had any program that he wanted to host and all that, I will make double of the flyers. Okay, so if he has the first program, the first platform I promoted, or the first company I promoted is RiseVest. So when he wanted to promote RiseVest, they had an affiliate program, it was very lucrative and all that. And he created his own. He gave me the details to create his flyer for his course, for his program. That's his webinar or his online class. So I created it, and I created the duplicates. So the only thing I changed between the both of them was his picture and my name. All right, I changed his picture and I changed his name. So I attended his program. That's his own online class. I saw how he did it. I went on my own. I created that flyer, removed his slides, extracted things from his slides, presented the same way he presented. I think he made $250 from that promotion. I made around $150 from that promotion. So basically, I was just like copying and pasting what he was doing, copying and pasting, because he was always a step ahead. That's why I like to tell people that it's very amazing to have somebody that is not too far from you to teach you. Because once you have somebody that's too far from you to teach you, his reality and your reality are different.
Wide apart. Right?
Yeah, they're different. So if somebody comes to me and tell me that, okay, Praise, I want to learn how to run adverts from you. Every single month, I spend close to 6 million on adverts every single month. You can't beat that with your 30K per month budget. So that's a lot of money. All right. So if you come to me and tell me that you want to run ads just like me, I'll have to tell you that, okay, can you spend this kind of money? If you say no, I can literally not help you so much. I can try to help you, but when we start doing like the main deal, I can literally not help you. So that's how I found out what he was doing. Then I was promoting CPA in foreign countries. I was promoting in UK, US, and all those countries, you know, that have really good spending power. And that's how we did it. So, you know, we made a lot of money together. In fact, we made around $456,000 in sales with the company that we're working with at that time collectively, and it was an amazing time, to be honest. That was when I told you I was making about 100K per day that period.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So would you say, and from your story so far and having enough context, knowing you and all of that, would you say that one thing that has helped you succeed so far in this space is ruthless implementation?
Well, yeah, implementation plays a very crucial role to making money online, because that's what I do. I make money online. I teach people how to make money online as well, because I have proven results. So I still tell people that the purpose of knowledge is not just to know, it's to act. And action is implementation. You can have an idea of everything else, but if you don't act on it, there's really no result. So let's say I have an idea that can give me $1 million today. If I don't tell probably investors or people who are going to fund the idea for me and all that, it's just remain an idea. That's why I don't really rate ideas so much. You have an idea, and so how much have you done to make the idea become a reality? So all those things are important. So implementation is too important. In fact, I will prefer somebody who is dumb but knows how to act, as opposed to somebody who knows everything but does nothing. Because action brings results.
So you started CPA, you started promoting with your friend and all that. What was your growth like?
You know, the thing is, my growth was very exponential. And when I say exponential, big word. Exponential, I mean my growth came extremely rapidly. I went from making 100K in a month to making 100K in a day, in a space of like 15 to 16 days. So the moment I stopped graphic design, I like went head on into CPA marketing. That's affiliate marketing for companies and all that. And I was making so much money. It's good though, but there's something that comes with when you grow through rapidly. Okay, you don't know what to do. You're confused. You don't know whose advice to take. You don't know. I probably this won't be a problem of a lot of people, but this my story is just unique. Okay. So most people, they'll grow like sequentially, 200K, 300K. But me, I went from making 100K in a month to making 3 million in a month, which was massive. I didn't even know. I used to tell people that I made my first million 3 times, because when I make millions, I blow the money, like, and I was not. It's not like I was spending the money. Yeah, exactly. It's not that I was spending money on things that were. I know I'm quite frugal. Apart from enjoying myself normally, I know how to like budget my money for things that are important. But that now leaves a clause. What is important? That's a very big question for a lot of people. What is important? So what you think might be important might just look important because you have money at that particular point. Where you really know things that are important is when you don't have money. If you don't have money, you're very careful you're spending. You calculate a lot. So like now, what I do now is that whenever I make a lot of money, I try to invest as fast as possible. I try to put it in places where I cannot normally reach immediately.
What do you invest in?
Well, currently I invest in stocks. Nigerian stocks have been doing very well recently. I invest in stocks. I invest in crypto as well. I invest a lot of money in crypto, and I'm not a believer of real estate investment yet, because I like to invest and get returns. I don't like to lock money somewhere else. If I'm going to invest in real estate, I'm going to put money I can afford to lose. If real estate looks like more like crypto for me, so I invest in stocks. I invest in ETFs. Your normal bank ETFs and treasury bonds. I do that as a safe, secure way. It's much more secure than even the normal stocks that you see out there and crypto. So crypto and stock trading for me is more of a more risky investment, but at least I can make 100%. I can make 200% with crypto and
and of course you don't go all in.
And stocks, definitely. You still go in with money you can afford to lose. Then I still have like some cash where I have cash. I like being liquid. Liquidity is cash is king, basically. So there's some opportunities you can never take if you don't have enough money. So it's always important for you to have money to take on opportunities. Then I also have my emergency funds. Now my emergency funds are funds that can keep me afloat if my business goes down for 90 days. So it's just enough money to settle your needs. Like if I go broke today, 100% broke, which is impossible. If I go 100% broke today, say my business goes down, you won't notice till like after 3 months because of those my emergency funds I told you. So that's basically how I allocate my money now. So most times whenever I like make money, I try to like spread it through all these portfolios and just have the enough money for me. And these days I don't like to pay myself a salary anymore. I like to look for my salary. So if I want a salary, if I want to make money for the month, I'll go and put out an offer right there, or I'll do something in my business that will generate that money for me. Then I pay myself as a salary. So that's how I do my distribution. So right now, especially this year, I'm not looking to spend any of my profits as I was doing in previous years. In due time, some of all these things I'm saying might change, but for now, that's how I distribute my income.
Makes sense. So, what would you say has been your biggest win so far since you started all of this?
Well, I think it has to be the day when I made about $6,000 in a day. It was not, it was less than a day, so like, I was like, it was crazy, because I think it was in my information marketing business. I put out an offer and had a lot of sales that day. It was crazy. Couldn't believe my eyes. But I could believe it because I had people who had done it.
Yeah.
Once you, that's the idea. I normally tell people that I don't like to motivate people. I like to inspire. Because motivation,
inspiration and motivation.
Oh yeah. So motivation is that, have you ever woken up one day and you just feel like today is the day. Today is the day. You go up, you have a lot of energy, you're pumped up and all that. Only to get to like 2 p.m. in the afternoon and you're like, man, today is not the day. So that's motivation. Okay. So motivation is good. It gives you that spark to start work and all that. But it doesn't really go so far. But motivation comes time and time again. You can feel motivated 3 times in a day. You can feel motivated twice in a week. Motivation comes. Okay. But inspiration now is where you draw desire from. Is where you draw momentum from. So for instance, I used to like Dan Bilzerian a lot when I was very young. Dan Bilzerian is a lifestyle entrepreneur. He has a lot of chicks around him. Like he drives an armor tank. He helicopter rides, drinks, everything. So whenever I sit down and I want to work, like, okay, I want to be like Dan Bilzerian. What would Dan Bilzerian do? Some people draw that inspiration from religion. Like, okay, what would Jesus do at this particular point? That's inspiration. That's not motivation. All right. So inspiration is where you draw your energy from. You understand? Be like, okay, I really love this guy and he has inspired me to do this. You hardly see any really successful person be like, oh, this was better that motivated me. No, it's most likely he has inspired me.
Don't you think that you can use them interchangeably though?
No, like, because motivation and inspiration are two different. Like, inspiration lasts long, bro. It lasts long. As long as that person is still up there, you will always be inspired by that person.
Okay, and motivation doesn't last long.
No, it doesn't last long. If the person is still up there, the person
that motivates you is up there.
That's the thing. So motivation is a feeling.
And inspiration is what?
Inspiration is something that works with your brain. You understand? Motivation is momentum. Inspiration is momentum. Motivation is just a feeling. All right? You're motivated. Even if you want to run, you understand? Okay, so for instance now, you're in the gym and you know somebody who has the perfect body shape.
Is that not motivation?
No, it's not motivation. It's inspiration.
I think we have to agree to disagree on this because
no.
I want a different opinion.
It's inspiration.
I think
it's inspiration. But hold on, let me finish. So now you're inspired. Feel okay, I can do this. I can be like this guy. You understand? That's the initial push. Then you now go to the gym. Then you now see one plus size guy does 50 push-ups. You're like, damn, I can't do 2. They are now motivated to do 50 push-ups at that particular spot. Right? So motivation and inspiration work together. No one is bad. But I prefer to be inspired than to be motivated. Because when I'm inspired, there's a goal. But for motivation, you just want to pop. So it's much more instant. So that you have to know the difference.
We are going to agree to disagree. And yes, right. So basically I think that they can be used interchangeably. So when maybe you go for a conference and come out and I say, wow, I'm inspired. That's
motivation. You're motivated.
You can be inspired.
No, you can be inspired and motivated.
Now I get what you're saying. I totally understand it, and I totally understand how you have differentiated them. It is just the English language and the meaning in the
I want you guys to see. I want to see it in this light, right? You go to a conference. I think that's a perfect example. You go to a conference, and just immediately after the conference, I remember the first time I attended Dorotheus, the fella Dorothea. First time I attended this conference, I think it was organized by Chelsea. It was 200 level there. Damn, when I left,
after I spoke, you were electrified.
I was like, damn, man. Today I'm going to become a billionaire. It was mad. After 3 days, I brought out the notes and nothing made sense to me. Nothing made sense to me. It just looked like gibberish. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that whenever you're motivated, you should take advantage of the motivation and work towards what you're inspired to get, or what you're inspiring to be. I don't even know if I'm using the words correct.
Aspiring, that's
Aspiring
the
to
word you want to use,
yeah. So you should just use it as a boost. Because motivation, like I told you, it comes and goes, it comes and goes. It's not every time you wake up and you feel that, okay, you're going to do it today. You're going to do it today. But if you have a picture of who you want to be or that goal hanging somewhere, that is an inspiration, not a motivation. All right? You have that you have a goal to make $1 billion this year. That is inspiration, not motivation.
So, somebody wants to start an online business today. What would be the top 3 things you have the person do?
Okay, so if you want to start an online business, number 1, just get a phone first. I think that's quite vague to say, but when you think about it, you find people who don't even really have a phone. Because if you're talking about getting online, it's your phone right here. It doesn't have to be as good as mine. All right, this is not the latest phone, to be honest, but I still just do a lot of stuff.
Vanity.
Doesn't have to be as good as mine, but you need a phone.
Yeah.
Because you need to have a way to access the internet. I like to start things from the most basic form, so that it doesn't. When I say other things, it looks like a process. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you need to have a phone. Then you need to have good internet, obviously. Then, if you want to run a business, for you to run a business means that you're participating in the economy.
Yeah.
And for you to participate in the economy, you need to either give a service or provide a product that solves a problem, or give a service that solves a problem. So now, what you now think of is that how can I solve a problem? And the way you can solve a problem is through skills. All right. So for me, the problem I'm solving, I only speak for myself. I won't speak for others.
Yeah.
The problem I'm solving is that for companies, whenever they start up their company, they usually need customers to use their services. Right. So if they need customers to use the services, I can come in as a CPA marketer and connect those potential customers to the company. And while I do that, I'm helping the company solve a problem, which is lack of customers. And those companies are going to pay me for helping them solve that problem.
Yeah.
So you have to think about it from a standpoint that, okay, what service can I offer to people or companies that are going to allow them to pay me handsomely for my reward? But personally, I like to tell people to start businesses that are very lucrative. But the truth is that you might not be able to find those businesses on set. That's immediately. So what you can do is that you can start a business that happens to be a channel towards where you want to go. So if your goal is to become a billionaire, you can't be a billionaire overnight. But you can start a small business, and that business grows into another business, which grows into another business. It's all in the process. All right, it's all in the process. So for me now, I see graphic design as a stepping stone for me. I started graphic design, and because of graphic design, I was able to meet somebody, offer my services to him for free. He mentored me. I moved into CPA marketing. I might do CPA marketing for a while. I find somebody who runs a company and be like, okay, I need leads. I probably be that company is an oil and gas company, because I look to go into oil and gas, because oil and gas is a lot of money. All right. Once I do that, I offer my services to the person, helping get more customers and all that. He likes me. We go ahead and we do some more amazing stuff. You see that it's all in the ladder for me to achieve greatness. Okay, so that's exactly how I plan to do it. So if you're thinking of starting an online business right now, just have a phone, have good internet, and get a skill. It doesn't really matter your location. If you're good, you're good. In Nigeria, they say if you're big, you're big. Okay? If you're good, you're good. So what you should think about is that you should think about how you can make your skill become so good that these companies can pay you, or these individuals are going to pay you a lot of money for it. And like I said, you don't have to start from the biggest skill. But though I normally advise people to do businesses that can give them a lot of money, okay? But you don't have to start from there. You can start where you are, start with what you have. If what you have is a laptop and what you can do is graphic design, learn graphic design and make money from it. After some time, you transition to a different business. Transitioning is very easy.
And the beautiful thing about all of that is that these skills and everything compounds. Basically, right? So when I started with graphic design, and then I learned audio editing, then I learned video editing, then I did photography. Then I've done a couple of things. Now, but where I am today, run the companies and run the business I'm running and all that, and having to do a lot of things with the media, now makes me realize that every single skill I stacked back then has something to do with what I'm doing today.
Right now, yeah.
So I sit like at the pinnacle, and then I can oversee and say, oh, this thing you did, nah, no be so. This thing you did, this how to do it. No, don't give me this excuse. Do this. The skills basically compound. Another thing it helped me do with my internet marketing business, especially when I would start building without a team, right, is that I became a one-man squad. And what does that mean essentially? Yes. So I think about a new product. I can design the funnel. I can write the email copies. I can design the flyers. I can set up the webinar. I can set up the ads. Everything in like 5-6 hours, and I'm done. Now, that's not very sustainable in the long run, but that just makes you a one-man squad and undefeatable. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So that's just basically it. Get a good internet, get your phone, and learn a skill. Very simple. Offer it to people and try to be known. Like I know people who are amazing. Like your work is amazing, but nobody knows.
That's a very salient point.
Like,
Yes.
like nobody knows. Like the only people that know is just me and you, and your family.
And your mommy.
People are always going to buy from you. You might, they're your friends, they're your family, and there's fools. So those three are always going to buy from you. So your friends, obviously, your family, obviously. Then fools are those people who literally don't have any good idea of what a good product should look like. They will patronize you. But once that there are only a finite amount of people who are fools, and there's only a finite amount of time you can fool people. So if you fool me once, I won't be fooled again, most likely. All right. So you can only sell to fools once, but for you to have a sustainable business, you need to always find ways to sell to the same people. The people that are going to buy from you are people that have bought from you. Those are your best customers. You don't have to go and search for customers everywhere. No. Sell to who has bought from you before. That's where your money is. Because the reason they bought from you is because they have a belief in you. So if you're the kind of person that you run a business right now, go and send a message to everybody who has bought from you before and give them something different and something that makes their life better and makes their life easier. They're going to buy. Trust me, you can try it, you can experiment that on your own. And it's just so amazing how much we can do when we have the right information.
It's just so amazing. That's how we end this podcast. It's just so amazing how much we can do when we have the right information. Great punchline. I love that. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into the Entrepreneurs Connect show. I hope you learned a lot from this episode. Okay, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Subscribe to the channel, and then let us know what you learned. Leave a comment, ask questions if you have any. We will be in the comment section to talk to you. Tell them to subscribe to the channel.
Guys, subscribe to the channel and make sure to follow Praise Akinlami on all social media platforms.
Follow Praise Akinlami on all social media. By the way, there's going to be like a link in the description and all of that. Both get into your CPA Academy and all of that. So thank you very much, everybody. Do have a lovely day ahead. Take care of yourself and cheers. Bye-bye.